Hey everybody, welcome to Dragon King 72 Media LLC. Yes, I said Dragon King 72 Media LLC because that is my communications and media company and that is my brand. And it will be seen throughout Twitter, Facebook, uh, TikTok because that is my brand. Okay, now let's get into the whole Nicki Minaj of it all. First of all, I am not a fan. I've listened to some of her music, but I am not a fan. Definitely not within the last 7 years. I'm not a fan. Um, but here's the thing. Um, Nicki Minaj has proven to be basically MAGA. You know, she's proven to be MAGA. You can debate it in the comments. I won't debate it with you because I've already done the research. And you pay attention to what people say, not how they move it. You know what I'm saying? Or you pay attention to both. It just depends on who is the person that's doing what they're doing. So she's made quite a few posts. She's made quite a few um, announcements and things, and reposting Donald Trump and the things that he's saying about transgender and Christians being a part of a genocide over in Nigeria. So Nicki Minaj has took it upon herself to be one of Donald Trump's nonsensical, very kind of um, idiot minded when it comes to what she's talking about. No one is trying to tell her, Nicki Minaj, not to speak out against any genocide. The problem here is what you're talking about. You have not done enough research. You have not done enough talking to people on the ground in Nigeria who is dealing with this so-called Christian genocide. And mind you, people, the Christian religion alone has destroyed cultures, has destroyed people's identity. You know what I'm saying? Because during the Christian Spanish Inquisition, Christian campaigns, many a culture, including Black culture, Native American culture, Asian culture, was invaded. Very few countries were able to fight off this Spanish Christian Inquisition that was going on throughout the world at the time, designed by the Pope himself. Because for most of you, you will not know this, that the Pope had granted Portugal one half of the world and Spain the other half, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? But it was what it was. And so Nicki Minaj is over there talking about the different atrocities that are going on in the Christian community. First of all, there's many atrocities that is going on here in the United States against Black folks and immigrants, which she neglectfully, I'm not saying it right, neglectfully, there you go, is mentioning that because she is an immigrant. Her parents, her mother who immigrated here was an immigrant, I believe. She may not be here, but Nicki definitely is, okay? So this idea that she's removed herself from the trauma and all the horrors that are going on in this country with immigrants and how they're targeting certain groups, which Black people have always been targeted, LGBTQIA plus people, and that brings me to this point. Nicki Minaj is over there, is at the UN, right? First of all, nobody outside of this presidency would ever have allowed somebody like Nicki Minaj to be to be at the UN. It just wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. The Obama administration, the Biden, Bush, Clinton, the other Bush, it was just not going to happen because they know what most of us know is she is not the person to represent a level of intellectual prowess that talks about certain things like genocide. And we're going to get to that too, right? Nicki Minaj she wrote a whole paperwork. She's at the UN. And let me just say that no one with almost a skin tight dress with a slit all the way up to the waist would ever be in that capacity in a real presidential administration, other than this one we in. Because this is the fucking Twilight Zone presidential administration, because nobody, Obama, Clinton, both Bushes, Biden, nobody would have allowed her to be in that position. And for you LGBTQIA plus fans that are barbs, you're fucking misled, and you have been for a number of years. This woman is MAGA. She has aligned herself with Donald Trump, who hates LGBTQIA plus, unless you are brainwashed into thinking that you're going to be better off than the next gay person who didn't vote for Trump. Because a lot of you, outside of having a low credit score, are supporting Nicki Minaj. Did you all know that the Christians over there in Nigeria, that Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump are supposedly are fighting for, those Christians over there in Nigeria that those two are fighting for are the same Christians that are killing the LGBTQIA plus, because they are saying that it is ungodlike. Most of you do not know that. Most of you do not know that. Some of you don't give a fuck because you're saying, well, I'm in America. It don't apply to me, but I appreciate what it does apply to you. Because if it's happening in Nigeria, and with the current administration we have in the United States, there's a 100% chance that it may happen here, where they start talking to LGBTQIA plus. They have been for years in our own country here in the United States, but not at a level of genocide that supposedly is going on in Nigeria. Okay. And if Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump had actually done the research, they would have found out that when you talk to the people on the ground in Nigeria, and not these streams of fake information to support the right, you would have found out that is not happening. That is not happening. But what is happening, and Nicki Minaj failed to write in her 2-3 page speech that she probably didn't write herself, that those same Christians that she's protecting are killing the LGBTQIA plus people in that community because they're saying they're ungodlike. Meanwhile, 80% of Nicki Minaj's fans, her supporters, who she don't give about before, after you buy the album, only doing the process of buying it, they are of LGBTQIA plus. So clearly she don't give a fuck about her fans who are LGBTQIA plus, because she's protecting a group of Nigerian Christians who are actually killing LGBTQIA plus over there, because the sentence for being gay, lesbian, queer, transgender, inquiring mind, whatever it is, the sentence is death over there. That's what Nicki Minaj is not telling y'all. So while she's trying to be on this MAGA train and trying to change Christianity and hope for people, what she's not telling you is, her LGBTQIA plus fans, is that she don't give a fuck about y'all, because she is supporting a Christian group over in Nigeria, or the Christian community in Nigeria, that if you were over there as the LGBTQIA plus, they would kill you, because the sentence for being gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, curious, inquiring about it, you would be sentenced to death. That's what Nicki Minaj is now telling y'all, why she's looking like a fucking fool in a skin tight dress with a slit up to her waist. Nobody is taking her seriously only in this administration. Only in this one. Because when Donald Trump get out of office, nobody is checking for her ass. Nobody's checking. And that album that's supposed to be coming out March the 26th, 2026, I guarantee the sales will, she will inflate the sales. The sales will not fucking be there, because many of her fans, not enough of you, are opening up your eyes to her bullshit. That woman don't give a fuck about y'all. She is a fucking immigrant herself. She don't give a fuck about the LGBTQIA plus, which is 80% of her fans in the United States, because she's supporting the Christians over there that would kill you if you were over there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and let me know how y'all feel in the comments.